What's good, Twitch, and welcome to the PPG. The finale of this tour has been wrapping up, and here in round 7, we have David Flores, who's just taken down the Epic Cards and Game Case Tournament last night for Dual Power, facing off against It's a Prank Bro, John with Prank Kids. Now, joined by CMO here on commentary. You know Prank Kids a little better than me.
Yeah, Prank Kids actually has a fairly decent Sky Striker matchup because all of their effects they tribute for cost, so it's able to dodge a lot of the Sky Striker cards rather well. Obviously, David is going first. That is going to give him a significant advantage, but Prank Kids can do a lot of really cool things. I'm not sure if he's playing like a Thunder variant or anything like that. I just know for a fact he is playing Prank Kids.
Oh, with those official YCS Japan sleeves I see over there.
But the other thing, too, is that David just set 2 cards and passed with a multi-roll up.
Yeah, not seeing a monster early on is not exactly how you want to be setting up with Sky
So it looks
Strikers.
like there's a Drop Seize in his hand. I think that's an Invocation, so I believe he's also playing that. That was actually something that became popular after it won the YCS.
Instant Fusion Ultimate Rare.
This man's Prank Kids deck was blinged out when I saw it.
If it's Ultimate, you don't have to pay for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's free. You already paid for it by paying for the ulti. So he's going to take 1,000 damage there for the cost, of course.
And you actually have a couple options here in this deck, right?
Well, typically you're going to go for the Rocket, because the Rocket's going to immediately get you 2 more pranks. Starting off with Instant Fusion is one of the best cards you can have. And honestly, with this deck, if you can just get 2 Prank Kids of any type on the field, you should be golden to do pretty much whatever you want with your deck.
It's really crazy.
He's going to go for the Weather Washer, though.
As I was saying, it's really crazy how timeless Instant Fusion has become.
Sure. But I think that's so cool that we still have that card in our format. Because it just provides so much flexibility.
And there's the Drop Seize.
There's the Drop Seize, yes. I was going to go ahead and link off here. And that will go ahead and trigger the Drop Seize effect when it gets linked.
And there's our Rooster.
That is the Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Doodle-doo.
Or Doolittle-doo, yeah, sorry. I'm thinking of the the tuner monster.
So it's about to get a little hectic around here.
Yeah, so David just reading the card. Essentially, I believe it can tribute itself off and add Prank Kids cards from the graveyard back to your hand. So again, just having all these effects that tribute for cost really allow it to just have some good flexibility against Sky Striker, because they can never really get a holding on controlling the board state.
And there's an Ash Blossom, I believe, on his graveyard effect.
Yes,
and then a Widow Anchor touching down.
Right, because Drop Seize effect would allow it to special summon another Prank Kid monster from the deck. All of them essentially have that effect. It
Looks
just has
like
to be a different one.
another Instant Fusion in hand.
Yeah, it looks like Instant Fusion, an Invocation is the second card from the left. I believe the Prank Kid's Trap is the first card.
And there's Place, I believe.
That is the, no, that's not the field. That is the continuous spell. I believe that's the one that acts as a polymerization. Okay, so he's going to go ahead. Oh, so he gets a token. Okay. So John just considering his options here.
I see that Toad in the extra deck, which you can make with Drop Seize.
And D Nasty Karibo in chat helping us out here. So the continuous spell actually summons a token, and so that's the Bow Wow Wow. That one is a quick effect.
Oh, so it is Place.
And he's actually going to go ahead and attack directly. Do you want to look up the attack of Bow Wow Wow for me? Oh, and a Widow Anchor, actually.
Seems to have 2,000 attack.
Dual Power number 3, table 84 on the Dragon Ball Super side.
So David just shuffling that up.
Number 3, please sit at table 84 on the DBS side.
So multi-roll resetting that Widow Anchor. And now play is back to David. As we saw, David does not have the best play in his hand. He's seriously contemplating his options here.
Yeah,
You can see like just the look on his face.
being stuck without a monster turn 1, and it's not looking like it's improving so far. Yeah.
So just setting another card.
This is not how you want to be approaching one of the more aggressive decks. And he's
So
going to send
multi-roll
another
on
multi-roll.
multi-roll. Afterburner on the Bow Wow Wow. Cannot be responded to because of the effect of multi-roll. And he's going to pass. Wow.
It draws into polymerization for
The
John.
OG art polymerization.
Will instant fusion be enough? Because he's somewhat lacking monsters right now. And there it is.
So a second instant fusion coming down here. He's going to take another 1,000.
And here comes Rocket Red.
Yes, Rocket. Rocket just one of the biggest centerpieces of this deck. He's going to use its effect, tribute it for cost, and he gets to get 2 of his Prank Kids cards back from the graveyard. So he's going to get Dropsies and Bow Wow Wow.
Now he's opting to read his card.
Yeah. Apparently David just wanted to check something out. We do know David's set on the far left, I believe, is a Widow Anchor.
And
Ooh, Eagle Booster on the Bow Wow Wow. That's interesting. And then Widow Anchor on the Dropsies.
and taking it.
Taking it. So he burned he burned the Eagle Booster to get the 3 spells so he could take the Dropsies.
But he does have his multi-roll to try to
Ooh,
recur and
he decided another Dropsies in hand, and that's going to be it.
enough.
All right, so game 2, both of them are drawing up.
David shuffling his hand fast. Has he opted to go second?
I was going to
here?
say, I think David's going second.
And
Interesting.
he is. Then there's place.
There's place, yes. So,
Ash
ooh, Ash
Blossom.
Blossom. That's actually a very... He passed. He had no other follow-up.
Wow. So from David being the one not being able to take much action to it turning to being John, just from one hand trap falling down, and the tides have turned just a little bit.
And that's the thing. Prank Kids Place is like Magical Meltdown. It's a hard once per turn. So if that gets stopped and you have no other follow-up, I mean,
No.
that can just literally
I
cripple
think
your
I
turn.
see a Ray here in a multi-roll.
I see a Ray, a multi-roll. I think I see a Foolish Burial Goods in the center of his hand as well. There's another monster next to the multi-roll, too. Is that a second Ray?
I can't tell.
Yeah. The Ray, you saw the Ray on the far left, though,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. I think it's a second Ray.
Oh, I saw it on
Yeah.
the right. So
Oh, no, he
yes.
has 2
yeah,
Rays.
It's 2
Okay.
Rays.
And goods. So
It's looking pretty good.
that's not bad. Obviously, it's not perfect, but
Better than before.
it's definitely, yeah, at least he has the Ray this time.
Oh, and
Ooh,
there's the
Area
field
0.
spell,
That's actually
yeah.
pretty good then. Now, the thing is, you know, David isn't going to be able to kill him this turn.
Of course.
So that's like the nice thing about playing against strikers, that you're not dead. Obviously, he's going to get to set up very well.
But there's always a back and forth. And Prank Kids excel against trying to play back.
Sure. And he's going to be able to send 2 spells to the grave, the Metalphos Fusion plus the Foolish Burial Goods. Assuming that's what he sends. But then he can also just get rid of his Area 0 with multi-roll for 3.
And there goes Metalphos Fusion.
Yes.
So something that he can send back later.
He also has... he can also do the Area 0 plus Ray effect chain. So to just generate even more advantage. If he hits an engage off of that, that's just going to be insane.
And here it is.
Okay, so using Area 0 on Ray, Chain Ray is Chain Link 2.
And
He's going to special summon Hayate, and then he will go ahead and reveal the top 3.
as long as it's not a whiff, should be feeling pretty good. And
Another Ray. Engage.
Engage,
oh
engage.
my god.
Ooh.
And he's going to have, I I think he only has 2 spells engraved, but he can send the third with multi-roll if he wishes.
Yes.
And then he's just going to start, and that's exactly what he did. So now he's just going to start drawing absurd amounts of cards. He's going to get his Widow Anchor. He's going to get pretty much everything he needs at this point. Now again, Prank Kids can play fairly well around this, going for Eagle Booster.
Yeah, there's the guaranteed live.
Yeah.
Securing it early. 2 counters now on multi-roll as well.
Getting the extra draw from the Engage because he has 3 spells engraved. He also has Mental Flow Fusion engraved as well, so he has an extra draw there potentially too.
Hayate.
Going into Kagari.
Oh, Kagari, my bad. Got a little ahead.
Looks like he's going to add back the Widow, or no, excuse me, he's using Engage here.
Yes.
To go for Widow Anchor, yes. The Engage that he added back, he's going to draw another card. And he drew another Engage off the Engage. Woo! That's always, that always feels good.
Well, they do say everything's bigger in Texas, and that hand is filling up to be quite sizable.
I was going to say, he's got Eagle Booster, Widow Anchor. He's just going to grab a second Widow Anchor at this point. Now, the nice part about this is that even though he has double Widow Anchor and stuff, because the Prank Kids monsters tribute for cost, it's you can't like go Widow Anchor and then chain in a second Widow Anchor. So Kagari's going to hit. I believe there was 5 spells engraved?
I want to say that sounds right.
4 or 5. Let's just go with 4. It's one of the things that's hard to track on
and
chat.
Shizuku,
yes. So setting the Eagle Booster and the Anchor.
And then the multi-roll is going to recur him 2 more.
Yes. Oh, he's going to shuffle Mental Flow Fusion back first. Makes sense, get an extra draw.
Still digging for hand traps, I imagine.
At this point, David just wants to amass as many just forms of disruption as possible. Multi-roll is going to resolve. Missed what he set there. Was it a Engage?
I think so. Let's put the story together here. Yeah.
And I cannot see what that search is. Just slightly off screen.
So can John mount a comeback through all of this? It is 3 back row, but David's going to live.
John's hand is very lackluster right now. It's just filled with fusion cards, it looks like. Eagle Booster immediately getting activated on the Shizuku. So that way it frees up. Oh, did he just pass? Oh, he did. Oh, wow. That is not good.
Now how much damage can David mount with all of this advantage?
Well, Area 0 is a good start because that means he can get 1,500 off of another copy of Ray. Hits the Afterburner on the Area 0. He sends Metal Foes Fusion.
It's looking like a game 3. It ain't over for him yet, chat. Y'all are saying Prank Kids. No, it's a 1-0 right now. Maybe about to go 1-1.
That's the thing. Sky Striker is a very slow-moving deck in the damage department. It's not impossible to deal a ton of damage. You just have to do some rather awkward plays to get like multiple copies of Ray on board, or we don't have Needle Fiber here in the TCG like the OCG has, where they can just make Boral Sword Dragon instantaneously. So it actually makes a pretty significant difference in the deck's potency just from not having a single card. And I think this is one of the big problems with Prank Kids is that you have to play a lot of cards that quote-unquote do nothing, because the fusion cards require you to have monsters. But if you don't have the monsters, then they're basically just dead cards in your hand. And you see John's entire hand is just completely suboptimal in this regard. Wow, look at that hand. There's a Drones, there's an Afterburner.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's loaded. He has 2 copies of Ray in his hand, too.
So this is the power of Ultra Instinct.
And here's another copy of Engage, so this is going to be 2 more cards coming to his hand. Does he already have a Ray Engrave? Because he used it with the Area 0, correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
So that means he doesn't have another copy of Ray in deck to send off of with multi-roll. If you use multi-roll in the Area 0. But at this point, maybe David doesn't want it. Maybe he just wants to, keep being in control. But he has like 8 cards in his hand at this point. But if I were him, I'd just be trying to find a way to close out the game quick.
And
he's got about 5 or 6 spells in the grave at the moment. So that put Kagari to 2,000, 2,100, around that range. And there's another engage. This man's hand is going to be massive.
there's just no stopping this man right now. He wants to really shake off that feeling of game 1. Just rinse it off completely and get into game 3 feeling like, ooh, we got there. But it's not over yet. Not quite yet, but it's looking like it's getting there.
Well, what's interesting is this is presumably going to get down to a game 3. What's interesting is that both of these decks actually play rather well in time because they both have cards that can manipulate their life points in the main phase. So,
Trinkett's especially a selling.
absolutely, yeah, that's a very big advantage. So that's why John's not really in any hurry to get to game 3, because I think he knows that if it does end up getting to time, he has a significant advantage, and he'd be going first. All he needs is a copy of Dropsies or the fire one that would damage his opponent. I was thinking about Hornet drones there for a second.
We need 2 more for
Something Billy always says is, if they ain't scooping, play to the best of your ability.
prizes for Dragon Ball Super. 2 more.
I mean, I hope you'd be playing to the best of your ability every time.
Yeah, but some people would rush to okay, I'm gonna just clear through. He has nothing, I'm gonna attack. When they're not scooping like this, you take your time out to make sure you have the best resources in case of the crazy. You start playing around Speedroid Menko, Gores, whatever.
So drone's coming down now. Gonna make a token. Token does go in defense mode, which is relevant.
Love the OG Japanese Yu-Gi-Oh symbol there.
He's gonna link off the Shizuku for a Hayate, possibly? That does open up a zone for him.
Yep.
So now he's gonna link off the token, it looks like. Probably make a Kagari.
And that is pretty massive at this point.
So that's 15 on the Hayate, and then Kagari's on... I don't know if we can even count how many spells. Probably 22, 2,300 maybe. Looks like he grabbed Eagle Booster. Now the problem is he has to clear that Kagari from his main monster zone if he wants to use his striker cards. Oh, he's gonna link off Hayate. Or not.
And
he's gonna summon Ray. Okay, so that's 3,000 plus, let's give or take 2,100, 2,200. Okay, so he's gonna attack for 15. Attack for 15 again.
And send a card.
Send a card. That will up Kagari by an additional 100.
I don't think she's flexing higher than a Blue Eyes quite yet.
Not yet. So let's go ahead and say 2,200. Again, give or take a couple hundred because we don't know the exact spell count in his graveyard. But his graveyard's pretty loaded at this point.
Remember, he can link away, and Eagle Booster will be good on whatever's in the extra zone. It is generic. That's kind of one of the best part of the Sky Striker cards is a lot of them, like Widow Anchor, you can play in any deck as long as you're getting spells.
He's going to make a Phoenix. Use Phoenix's effect to pop the place.
Metal Foes Fusion makes it even freer. And it looks like...
Oh, he redrew the Metal Foes Fusion. That's so unfortunate. Because he shuffled it back right before doing that.
Going into Link 3.
Ningirsu. Okay. You're saying you haven't seen Ningirsu all weekend.
I haven't, and
obviously,
this is the first time.
It's not exactly in a...
We've still seen Ignister more often.
That's true. We have.
But there it is.
I was going to say, Ningirsu not really doing too much here. Just wanting to clear out that main monster zone so that all of his cards are live. Ooh, Gamma Seal. Oh, that's going to shut down everything.
That's going to put the main monster zone back into it, but what does he have?
He drew is that a Roxy's?
Roxy's is there, yeah.
Oh man, this could be big. Okay, so that is the continuous spell that allows him to discard to summon a token.
Shutting off all those back temporarily.
Could this be?
Huge.
Could John run this back? There's Roxy's.
Yeah, could he wipe all those back rows out?
Yes, because Rip Roaring Roaster is a Harpy's Feather Duster.
Yeah.
So if he can just get to a Link 4, which now that he has 2 monsters, should be very easy. This John might be able to play through this. So I think he's activating the effect of Doodle Doo here.
Checking all back row, but I'm pretty sure most are shut off.
Yeah, I was gonna say all those anchor. Ooh, Call by the Grave. So Roxy's is Oh, he might be activating the Roxy's here first. So Roxy's denying that special summon. Let's see here.
Quickly going through his deck.
Getting a Prank Kid's Place. So he's got 2 copies of Polymerization in his hand. He's going to use the Place. Place is going to add any of his Prank Kids monsters to his hand.
And there's Dropsies.
There's Dropsies, yep. And Polymerization, old school. So he's going to fuse away the Doodle Doo and the Dropsies for a Rocket.
It feels like this deck just never stops climbing.
Once you get those 2 monsters to stick, it just starts going. Now, Pranket's Place also has an effect when I believe he summoned the Rocket. I don't recall what it is, but I know it has a secondary effect. So he's going to summon the Wind Prank Kid. The name is escaping me at the moment.
Fansies, I believe.
Is it Pansies?
Fansies.
Pansies. All right, so the effect of Rocket is going to go ahead and get back the Doodle Doo and the Dropsies. So we're going to see another Link 2 play here. And there's Bow Wow.
And there's a 4 Link rating peeking on the field.
That is.
And there's Prank Kid's Place activating.
Yeah. It either like raises, I think it's like it raises the attack of all the monsters for the turn.
And
now at this point, I believe Rip Roaring Roaster, I don't remember if it just needs 2 cards. He is going to trigger his Fansies first. That's going to get the, is the Fire one Lampsies?
I think so.
Yes. So Fansies is going to get Lampsies.
It was all looking so good for David just a couple minutes ago.
That one Kaiju literally shutting down David's entire board. Well, except for that Call by the Grave. But
and having a deck that can potentially answer all this back row is just so huge.
Right.
It's essentially Denko Sekka almost. Like we saw the Call by the Grave pop out.
Yeah.
But any card called Sky Striker is essentially Denko Sekka by that Gamma Seal.
Absolutely. And so like I said too, there was no reason for John to scoop this up. We know that Sky Striker can't deal enough damage to OTK. It's very rare that it can. So John just waiting it out, and he's rewarded for it because now he's in a prime position to possibly take this and 2-0. So he's using the effect of Doodle Doo to go ahead and special back. Or excuse me, he adds them to his hand. I don't think they get special. And another Polymerization. It's going to fuse away the Lampsies, and I did not see what else. And there is the... I can't recall the name. It's the washing machine one. It looks like John's checking the text of one of his cards, potentially. Let's see.
Weather Washer.
Weather Washer, that's what I think I said it in the first game, too.
You did, too.
So Weather Washer gets summoned. He's going to trigger Lamp Seize, and that's going to give him a Fansies. Oh, and chat's saying he gets 1,000 life points from the drop Seize, so I'll go ahead and add that here. Thank you, chat. He might kill him this turn anyway, so it might not matter, but...
Every little bit can help.
Looks like John's possibly doing some math. Game of Seal is 22.
Was there some burn damage maybe from Lamp Seize too? Because David was doing math. Or is it just him adding the life points too?
Oh, that's true. He could have taken 500 as well.
And he's just going to
So he's going to attack. So Weather Washer is going to attack Gamma Seal.
And now the back row's back online.
What is Weather Washer's attack? Is it 23?
I want to say that sounds correct, but give me a second.
And he's just going to pass it back. John set a card, so he wasn't able to kill him. But now he doesn't have a Sky Striker card, or a Sky Striker monster rather. But he can go ahead and use his Area 0 with multi-roll. Not summoning though, because all of his rays are either in his hand or in his graveyard at this point. He's gonna Widow Anchor, target the Fansies, and then chain a second Widow Anchor on the Bow Wow, and a third Widow Anchor on the Weather Washer.
It's 2,000 even.
2,000 even?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I think the Prank Kids place must have lowered the attack. Or no, it might have given them 500 attack.
And
wow.
Your cards are now my cards.
So triple Widow Anchor with a multi-roll being used, so nothing can be used in response. We have a Ghost Ogre coming down.
And I do think we're going to see a Game 3.
And that looks like Game 3. He just had to attack with the Weather Washer.
And yeah, the opponent cannot respawn because of roll.
So we're going to a Game 3. John was almost able to run that one back. Either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like messing with the Prank Kids by going second.
It's just like mind games at that point. Ooh, so Polymerization, Invocation. I believe
all
that
green.
Is all green, not a single monster. Unless there's I think there's an Instant Fusion second from the left.
I think I do see Instant Fusion also.
Okay.
I see Invocation. Is it 2 invocations?
So that's the continuous spell, giving him the token, and then discarding to make it. See if a response. Ooh, a Ghost Ogre. Ooh, okay.
Woo!
That could actually.
Yeah, that is Instant Fusion.
Wow. Passing the turn.
But yeah, he reels.
He opts not to play the Instant Fusion. That's pretty rough. Now again,
chat commenting as we do near time, Instant Fusion starts to.
We are nearing time. We have 6 minutes left, which sounds like a lot, but realistically, it's not.
Yeah, I think Game 1 was over in, I think, near 5 to 6 minutes.
It was. To be fair, that was a lot more of a decisive game than what we've seen so far.
Well, it's looking pretty decisive, this one.
Sure.
A little bit.
But the thing is, like, if Striker only gets in for like 1,500 damage, you know, John could potentially, if he gets a way to access Lamp Seize or Drop Seize to either start swinging the life points in one way or another.
There's rolling Area 0.
Ooh, that's a really good, that's what you want to see with Striker right now.
And we know there's no hand traps to answer this.
That's true.
David Flores tanking a little, or is Judge, it appears John might be talking to Judge.
All right, so Area 0 effect hits a Widow Anchor and 2 Pankratops. So the Widow Anchor will go to hand. Now we can use multi-roll on the Area 0.
Oh, and Hornet drones.
You typically don't need it because you're just going to get the ray from this.
Yeah.
So.
And some people might say, Ray is Bay.
So let's see, he's just going to attack for 15, and then he's presumably going to tag out.
Into Kagari, and I think we have 2 spells engraved, maybe 3?
Probably Hayate, actually.
Oh, Hayate,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes, you're right.
Because then he can send a third spell. Actually, he has 3 spells in grave already, so he can send a 4th spell.
But one he specifically wants from deck like
Correct.
Engage to start going off in main phase 2.
All right, so John down to 5,000 life points, 4.5 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah, chat making comments about time, but everything's actually been played out really swiftly for the most part by the duels.
So David's sending Eagle Booster.
Making
And
sure
now
he's gonna
Engage. Okay, so this is big, because now he's going to get a draw off the Engage. And now Kagari can recur the Engage, so he's going to get 2 draws, actually. And at this point, David's just going to try to solidify his position and just have as many disruptors as he can.
And there's the draw.
It's fortunate for John that he bricked 2 games out of 3. So Kagari is going to grab Engage. He's going to activate. He has at least 1 Widow Anchor in hand. He has Eagle Booster and Grave. We just go for another Anchor here? Ooh, Shark Cannon?
That's not a bad call considering how active Prank Kids are in the graveyard.
It's like a searchable call by the grave.
Considers it for a while. And goes Widow Anchor instead.
Second Widow Anchor instead.
Part of the cards. Let me draw it for free with Engage.
I was going to say, watch, he'll just, top deck the 3rd Engage, or he'll just get the Shark Cannon anyway. He did it in that 1 game, so it's not like it's not possible.
And here we go, set 1, set 2.
Which are both cards.
Set 3.
Set 3. 2 of
And
which we know
Tiger.
are Widow Anchors, presumably.
Shizuku for end phase, multi-roll.
He's going to roll anything back.
Looking like it.
He could possibly just set the Engage and then add another one, and it looks like that's... Oh, and the field spell. And he's going to go ahead and search for probably another copy of Engage.
I think this may be our first game that actually does hit time, though,
I
for
think
a feature
so.
match.
I mean, out of 7 rounds, if this is the first game going to time, I'd say that's pretty good.
I really like that.
Yeah.
In a deck with, or in a format with so many control decks.
Yeah, you think it'd be happening a lot more often. All right, so there's Lampsies. So could possibly tip the scales.
But he's going to take 1,000 himself.
He is going to take
now.
1,000 for this, yes. But I think in this position, he kind of has to. He's going to get the Weather Washer.
I'm sure he does not want to end his current phase in the main phase at this point.
No.
But David with so many interruptions.
I was going to say, David scouring the back row, using Eagle Booster on the Shizuku, and then going to chain the Widow Anchor on the Weather Washer, and then chain a second one on the Lampsies.
Your cards are my cards now.
And it looks like John is just revealing his hand.
And we actually avoid time once
Wow.
again for the feature table.
No time. So that's going to go ahead and wrap that up.